What is your role at UCI?
Hi everyone, I'm a postdoctoral scholar at UC Irvine. That means that I have completed my PhD and now I am continuing my training to become an independent scientist. I work on research projects while developing my own ideas and preparing to lead a lab of my own one day.
What group at UCI are you a part of, and what is the mission or vision of that group?
I work in Dr. Elizabeth Head's lab in the Department of Pathology and Laboratory Medicine. Our lab's mission is to understand the progression of Alzheimer's disease in people with Down syndrome. And ultimately, what we hope is to identify targets for therapies that could slow down or even prevent Alzheimer's disease in Down syndrome.
What does your research focus on, and are there any discoveries you'd like to share?
Sure. My research focuses on the blood-brain barrier in people with Down syndrome. So you can think of the blood-brain barrier as a security gate between the blood and the brain. So it allows in the good stuff like nutrients and keeps out the bad stuff like toxins. In neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's, this gate can start to break and this leaves the brain more vulnerable. So we found that in people with Down syndrome who have Alzheimer's disease pathology, the barrier is also damaged. Even more interesting, some younger people with Down syndrome show early signs that this gate might be weakening. We are also looking more closely at all the components of this gate. For example, are the guards on duty? Are the locks still working? Are the bricks holding up? So this is helping us figure out exactly what goes wrong and when, and understand what we might be able to do to fix it. Another exciting project I am working on involves people with Down syndrome who do not develop dementia, even though their brains show signs of Alzheimer's changes. This group is fascinating because it suggests that some individuals with Down syndrome are protected and they don't have cognitive decline. So we are just beginning to study what makes them resilient, and we hope this could lead to new strategies for prevention.
What got you interested in this research focus?
During my PhD, I studied neuroinflammation, which is brain inflammation in people with Down syndrome at different ages and different stages of Alzheimer's disease. I found that inflammation was increased in people with Down syndrome, and neuroinflammation can have different consequences in the brain. And one of them is affecting the integrity of this security gate or the blood-brain barrier. So when I joined Dr. Head's lab, not much was known about the barrier in people with Down syndrome. So I wanted to explore it further, and this is what I'm doing now. Also, some of the new Alzheimer's treatments use antibodies to target a protein called amyloid beta. In Alzheimer's disease and in people with Down syndrome, amyloid builds up in the brain, but not just in the brain, it also builds up in the brain's blood vessels. And the blood vessels are part of the blood-brain barrier. So uh, what is interesting is that people with Down syndrome have more amyloid in the vessels than people without Down syndrome. And this buildup could make them more likely to have side effects from these new treatments for Alzheimer's disease. So I am very interested in understanding more about the blood vessels in people with Down syndrome to eventually help make these therapies safer and more effective.
Is there a researcher who has inspired you?
Yes, many. I've been fortunate to work with inspiring researchers at every stage of my career. First off, my parents, they are both biologists, so I grew up around science. They showed me how exciting discovery can be and how much teamwork and staying curious matters in science. During my undergrad, I had amazing professors who were passionate about both science and teaching. They took the time to make the lectures and discussions engaging and really shaped how I see science today as something to share and not just do. Also, during my PhD at McGill University, my advisor, Dr. Claudio Coelho, made a huge impact on my career. He showed me that some of the biggest scientific questions can be answered with simple, well-designed experiments. And this is what I try to apply to my research and was such an important lesson from him. And he's always ready for the next idea, the next experiment. His energy and curiosity are nonstop, and that is truly inspiring. I've also been inspired by the students that I have trained, my peers and colleagues. For example, Dr. Florencia Yulita is also a big inspiration for me. She has this amazing ability to turn every challenge into an opportunity and is one of the sharpest minds I have worked with. And finally, of course, my current mentor, Dr. Elizabeth Head. She has supported me in every step of the way as I work toward becoming an independent investigator. She's always lifting people up, encouraging them, and looking for opportunities for everyone to grow. She is an excellent leader. She leads with kindness, intelligence, and this positive energy that makes everyone around her better. And I truly admire her dedication to science, to people with Down syndrome, and to her trainees. And I am very fortunate to be in her lab. And well, also I'm inspired by some of the great figures in neuroscience. For example, the beautiful work of Santiago Ramón y Cajal, the resilience and determination of Rita Levi-Montalcini, and the sharp mind and pioneering work of Brenda Milner. So all these past and present scientists have inspired me and keep inspiring me in my everyday research.
Is there any advice you have for new investigators entering the field?
So the most important will be to find a supportive mentor and to have a strong support network, whether that's your family, your friends, or colleagues. Academia can be a tough environment, and having people who lift you up can really make the difference. Second, don't be afraid to say, I don't know. Science moves fast, especially now, and no one knows everything. So being open to learning and asking questions is actually a strength and it's not a weakness. Also, trust your gut and lead with your values. Let your curiosity and sense of purpose guide your work. And don't forget to take breaks. Science can feel nonstop, but rest is part of the process. So it is okay to turn off email notifications and to step away. The work will still be there, but you will come back with more clarity and energy. And something that I always do is to come back to my why. Remembering why you started can help you stay grounded, especially when things get hard. And finally, for those working in fields related to diseases, connect with the people that you are studying. If you are working on something like Down syndrome, get to know individuals with Down syndrome and their families. Listen to their stories, to their struggles, try to understand their lives. It makes your research more human, more meaningful, and more impactful. And science becomes so much more powerful when we stay close to the people that it is meant to be, to help.
What parts of the mission and vision of CFAR-DS appeal to you or inspire you?
I am deeply inspired by CFAR's commitment to improving the quality of life for aging individuals with Down syndrome. This population has often been excluded from research and clinical trials, but they have so much to teach us, not only about Alzheimer's, but also about other conditions like the immune system or other diseases like cancer. I also love the outreach programs that CFAR has to bring together people with Down syndrome, their families, and researchers. To me, it's also about giving back. People with Down syndrome contribute enormously to science. So it is our responsibility to ensure that they benefit from the knowledge we gain.